Our first YouTube video was a proposal video where I proposed to her in Federation Square, which was the biggest square in Melbourne City, and I did it on a big screen. And
the pressure was a lot.
Yeah. Luckily she said yes, otherwise it would have been quite awkward because it was on a Saturday night and a lot of people were watching.
Yeah.
And we made that video to share it with our friends and family and put it on YouTube, and it went viral and got a lot of good feedback and people liked it, and we just continued making videos for fun, just to document our day-to-day life, sort of like home videos, and never thought it would take us anywhere, and it was just for fun. And for some reason people from all around the world enjoy watching them, and we communicate with them through this amazing platform that is YouTube. I feel as though so much conflict in the world, both big and small, is caused by people's egos. And I feel like if we could be more humble and more empathetic to one another, that the world would be a much better place for everybody. The thing that I admire about you most, Pope Francis, is your humility. So therefore my question is, I would like to know your advice on how both I and my subscribers could go about living a more humble life and to not allow our emotions to be governed by our ego.
I believe that the only way to begin on that path, the advice that I can give you is to establish a dialogue and a comparison with someone that I feel is humbler than I am. What I mean is opening up your heart to transcendence and before God, speak the truth. Our hearts are open to transcendence, each one in his or her own way. In Islam, in the Hebrew religion, in many religious confessions, but transcendence is always the same, and we need to be able to look at the greatness of this transcendence and tell yourself the truth before God. We all have a misery in our hearts, but we can express that before God in our loneliness, and that will help to bring down the tone of that ego that wants to dominate, of pride, which is the worst attitude a person can take, because that leads to despising others. Then we feel there's human beings of first class, second class, third class, and those that we just simply leave aside. That is one of the things we find in this world. But then there is a pride in friendship as well that destroys friendships. So we need to open up our hearts to transcendence. That is something that helps me. I need to tell myself, if I am not on the lowest level of what it means to have a moral behavior, if I am not a thief or a murderer, it is only through the mercy of God. And the question I ask myself when I go visit those who are in prison is, why are they here and I am not? That helps me. But I am not humble. I try to do what I just explained, and that is what I try to do.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful response.
Nikki.
Hi, Pope Francis. So lovely to meet you. So I migrated to Australia when I was very little with my family. And in Australia, migrants can often feel left out, especially children. Learning a new language and adapting to a new culture can be quite difficult. This can sometimes leave them to feel more comfortable within their own cultural groups. And my question for you is, how can the education system make it so that these children feel more comfortable and more included and embraced within the wider community? and without them feeling like they need to sacrifice their own cultural backgrounds just to fit in.
Yesterday, this group of kids, I think they were 300 from those 5 schools I told you, 1 from Sicily, 3 from Calabria, and 1 from Rome. They wondered about migrants. They thought about migrants, and they expressed the problem of migration through drawings. Each one made his or her drawing. So I have 300 drawings, 300 something drawings that Jose Maria saw, and I looked at one where there was a beach and the sun shining on everyone, and on the beach there were some kids playing soccer, and one goes to get another child of a different race, a migrant who was by himself, to bring him over so that he could join the soccer team. That child understood. He truly understood. You said 2 words that are keywords. Integrate while keeping one's own culture. Become integrated while holding on to one's own culture. Globalization is something that puts everything together. It is like a sphere where all the points are at the same distance from the center, and you erase your own culture. Globalization has to happen through a different shape. When we become integrated, each person needs to be able to keep his or her own culture. The problems of migration that Europe is facing nowadays through the negative experiences of migrations they've had here in Europe is because they did not establish a healthy, good policy on migration. You need to be able to integrate while allowing people to keep their own culture. Approach without ever sentencing, without ever judging. But that means policies that the states need to have. We do what we can, but it is the states that need to establish policies so that people may become integrated.
Gracias, Nikki.
We're about to take a selfie with Pope Francis. I'm just having all my audio equipment taken off me so that we can do it. I've got it off. And we're about to go and do this selfie. Thank you very much for your time.